was having troubles finding videos about the Gagari saw on the internet, so I decided to make one myself. This is a Gagari that I got at the Kobo-san flea market in Toji Temple in Kyoto. I was there last month. It's a really nice example of a Gagari. It's not particularly old. It's certainly less than 100 years old. And you can see that it's a rip saw. It's got a very, very aggressive rip pattern for its teeth, much more aggressive than the rip pattern for my Ryoba saw. This is a modern Japanese Ryoba saw, and in fact, even more aggressive than the rip tooth pattern for this Ryoba saw, which is a much bigger one. This is for timber framing. This one's for timber framing. And you can see how much more aggressive that tooth pattern is. In fact, it's really even more aggressive than the tooth pattern on this saw, which belonged to my great-grandfather. It's a unknown maker from the Midwest, probably mid to late 1800s. And the tooth pattern on this Gagari is even more aggressive than the tooth pattern on this Western-style rip saw. So this is a tool that's made to very quickly and very aggressively cut very large timbers. Historically, it's something that would be used to rough rip timbers. Not quite the logger's saw. It's still a carpenter's tool, but it's a very aggressive rip tool. And let's see what kind of cut it makes. I'm cutting Douglas fir here, which is a little bit softer than the cypress that's used to make temples in Japan, but roughly similar, or at least as close as I've got in my shop. And you can see that this handle, which is the style of the handle, is called shumukotsuka, wooden mallet, allows for a two-handed grip pulling towards the center of my body. And it cuts pretty aggressively here. I'm just going to grab my Ryoba style saw to cross-cut that little bit off so that you can see the cut quality. And I'm cutting it all below me on a low bench, which is the way that Japanese shokunin work. In fact, their benches are even lower. So I'll try and get this up close to the camera so you can see it's a relatively rough cut. That's a very broad set on that saw. So here are my three big nokogiri, or Japanese style saws, my Bukkiri Gagari, and then my two Ryoba. And here is my Gagari's new home next to my great-grandfather's saw on the wall of my shop and my two other Western-style big saws. I feel privileged to give it a new home and hopefully a lot of new use. Thanks for watching.